Okay, well, we'll make a start then, everyone. So firstly, welcome to Kyocera Protect webinar. Some brief housekeeping elements. You will be on mute through the session, but feel free to leave any questions under the question and answer box. Should be a grey bar across the bottom of your screen that will enable you to do that. Our colleagues will be checking these questions throughout the session, and they will be answering them. We do have a brief question and answer session at the end. The webinar today is recorded. We will be sharing it out post the webinar today, so you will have a recorded version post that. So today we're presenting our Kyocera Protect solution, which is a complete managed SaaS data protection and recovery solution for Microsoft Office 365 or the 365 suite and G Suite products. If you could go on to the next slide for me, please. So today our agenda, we have 4 key points. My name is Andrew Smith. I'm the Group ICT Services Director for the Kyocera UK Group. I'll be leading with a brief overview of our company, looking at some of the economic challenges in the current climate. I'll then hand over to my colleague, John Rockcliffe, who will introduce the Kyocera Protect solution, discuss a bit of the why, what and how regarding the product. We'll then lead into a live demo led by Senior Solution Architect Ben, who's also on the call, and we'll finish with some question and answers. So we hope you enjoy and find this webinar useful. Next slide, please. So a brief intro into Kyocera. Kyocera is a global group of companies with presence across the globe in some key regional locations. The group contains businesses across various industries, but fundamentally Kyocera is a technology-based business. The UK entity operates within the Kyocera Global Solutions division, which hosts a number of different solutions within the UK market, which I'll touch on in a bit more detail as we go through the slides. We have multiple locations across the UK, 7 in total. Our head office is based in Reading. We are, by scale, we're approximately 160 million turnover, with 500 employees based here in the UK as part of a global operation that we run as part of the Kyocera Group. Next slide, please. In the UK, we focus on our solutions heritage, which includes managed print solutions, as well as solutions across our comprehensive services. Comprehensive services is a name we use internally, but is used to represent the broader services that we offer out to the market. The broad portfolio includes content services, which focuses on services across business process and digitalization. Unified communications, everywhere from mobility to telephony solutions out to the market. Connectivity, WAN, LAN, wireless solutions, and core IT infrastructure, so public, private cloud, and core infrastructure solutions. At our very core, we are a managed service provider. That is where we invest and how we go to market. That drives from our key philosophy to both our customers and how we operate internally, focused around delivering value add through our professional services and our service operations for all of the solutions we sell to market. Next slide, please. Moving on to the current climate today, it's fair to say that the way people have worked has changed quite significantly and maybe permanently due to the current pandemic. I'm sure many of you would have seen lots of different news articles. We are flooded currently with news articles suggesting how the world, the business world is changing. Some of the research that we've tapped into shows 88% of organizations have encouraged or have required home working since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. In just 1 month, the active users on Microsoft Teams platform, for example, doubled from 32 million to 75 million in just the small recent time relating to the pandemic, with a peak of 2.7 billion meetings happening in one day alone during the peak. And I think that really does represent the shift. And while the technology was there, we certainly feel there's been a shift in adoption rather than, and not just a change in market, but certainly the shift in adoption from a broad set of users. The acceleration of change and adoption has seen people transform the way they work from traditional office-based to cloud-based solutions. We've seen that continue to accelerate and deploy and utilize more cloud-based applications like Office 365 and G Suite. And I think certainly touching on that from our experience with our customers, we've seen end users drive adoption, drive use of features, drive use of putting data onto these cloud platforms in a way that we haven't seen previously. And certainly in some cases has caught our customers off guard and needing to quickly adapt to how their end users are now demanding on their platforms. Next slide, please. So what are we hearing? Customers' key challenges are with moving and utilizing more cloud-based services to make them more agile and to enable their workforces across the board. We've reviewed some insightful reports from IDC and other independent researchers. We found more than 1/3 of businesses have experienced data loss while utilizing cloud applications caused by the native data retention of SaaS vendors. So that is the data that is retained within these platforms and customers not understanding how cloud vendors are utilizing and retaining their data. Nearly 50% of organizations have suffered an unrecoverable data event in the past 3 years alone. This tells us data loss is happening more often than we think. We noted that the 5 most common reasons for data loss in cloud applications include, I'm sure it'll be no surprise that right at the top there is human error, meaning people accidentally delete a file and they realize it's important when the time's too late and the file is no longer recoverable. Program errors like system admins or configuration errors, rather, where system admins may wrongly configure, perhaps remove a mailbox, remove a user prior to backing up or configuring that data into a different area. Malicious insiders, so this means our very own employees may do something harmful, like use a USB that brings a virus or some other malware into the network. Sometimes we see that being intentional, sometimes not, we see customers, users naively plugging untrusted devices into the network. And at the same time, we, and perhaps more commonly known, we're obviously exposed to the likes of external malware and external threats and external hacks that we see in the marketplace. So these problems are constantly delivering financial impact to business, and we're seeing this more and more. Report from the UK government shows businesses are suffering cybersecurity more often than ever before. Cybersecurity issues more now than ever before, and it costs a lot more to recover than it ever has done, mainly because of the complexities of systems, the retention of that data, and how easy it is to recover that data. In addition, direct business costs, organizations are also facing recovery costs directly relating to these breaches, which is often far exceeds 100,000, but as an average is around 300 to 100,000 per breach, which is, I'm sure we all agree, is quite significant. Slide, please. So we conclude that there's 3 key customer challenges that we believe the Kyocera Protect product supports. Firstly, we help customers protect their mission-critical data from permanent loss while utilizing SaaS applications, and they can safely adopt new ways of working utilizing cloud-based collaboration tools. Secondly, maintaining data compliance and security. It's always a key concern of many businesses, and we ensure our customers' SaaS data meets compliance standards and help to protect their business reputation, customer trust, and profits. Thirdly, SaaS apps are easy to purchase. I'm sure we've seen that, all seen that in the marketplace, but keeping on top of licensing can be difficult. It's difficult to control when staff leave roles, enter into roles, meaning that businesses often pay more than they need to, or end up where users aren't being protected when the expectation is that they are. And which we've seen in many cases, user data being permanently deleted by a SaaS vendor when the intention or the expectation was that that backup is occurring on them users. Kyocera Protect can help customers reduce the complexity by managing licenses centrally, optimization of the SaaS licensing area and data costs as a whole, as well as delivering it as a end-to-end managed service. So not only backing up data, but having the confidence that the integrity of that data is there, and quite clearly that data is recoverable in the time of need. So now let me pass on to John Rockcliffe, my colleague, who will give a bit more information about the product itself.
Thank you, Andrew. So for the rest of this presentation, I'm going to be talking about why backup is needed, and then some specifics about Kyocera Protect. So following on from what Andrew's been saying, I wanted to pose the question why backup of your Office 365 estate is needed. Well, Microsoft run a shared responsibility model, and what that means is Microsoft's main focus is to ensure the availability of the services running within their own infrastructure. So this includes making sure their infrastructure is mitigated against single points of hardware failure or operating system failure, as well as mitigating against data center-wide outages caused by either natural disaster or utility outages. As such, cloud architecture will typically have single component redundancy built within their own data center, as well as offering geographically dispersed locations with tenancy running within a primary and maybe a secondary data center. However, as Andrew alluded to, risk doesn't just come from hardware failures or failures within an operating environment. The risk of data continuity also applies to users, with risks coming from both inside your organization as well as externally. Data center geographic redundancy should not be mistaken for backup in this sense. So redundancy provides resilience against hardware failures. However, a true backup contains a historical copy of all of your data stored, and preferably in another location. So what is important is that businesses have control over this backup, so that if data is lost or accidentally deleted or maliciously attacked, you are able to recover quickly. The impact of your own users or third-party use of your content is also not covered by SaaS vendors. As you can see, Microsoft's recommendation in their own SLA is that businesses regularly back up all of the content stored in their Office 365 product using third-party applications and services. Their native backup just simply is insufficient for the needs of most businesses, let alone compliant with the latest regulations covering data processing and archiving. So with this in mind, we can see that the standard backup provided by Microsoft 365 environment is insufficient for mission-critical data. And how often do we consider the criticality of data stored in our Office applications? What would really the impact be if your business lost all of the data in your Office productivity suite? Working across multiple industries, IDC, who are analysts, have calculated that about 60% of businesses do not have protection in place for their Microsoft Office 365 data. So they rely purely on Microsoft's native capabilities, even though Microsoft themselves recommend the use of a third-party backup application. So with this in mind, let me introduce Kyocera Protect. So Kyocera Protect is a managed backup and recovery solution for Microsoft Office 365 and G Suite applications. Data from these platforms is securely backed up and can be easily restored, as opposed to Microsoft's standard 30-day retention in Office 365. Kyocera Protect can store backups indefinitely. Customers can choose indefinite retention or retention based upon regulation or compliance standards that might be specific to their industry. Kyocera monitors the integrity of those backups to ensure that there's success if ever a backup is needed. A significant and unfortunate modern trend is the rise of ransomware attacks on businesses, and a successful backup and recovery strategy can easily mitigate a large portion of this risk posed by making sure that your critical data is not locked from your view. So with backup in place, data could be recovered from a point in time before an attack took place. So Kyocera Protect reduces the risk of data loss with peace of mind that data is backed up with integrity. With more of us working from home, this has driven the adoption of cloud-based productivity applications, such as Microsoft Teams. So knowing that these applications, which have quickly become the de facto standard for collaborating with each other and collaborating with other businesses, are included in a backup and recovery plan, increases your level of resilience, business continuity, and ensures users remain productive. So Kyocera Protect uses a multi-cloud architecture with direct connections to Microsoft and Google Cloud. So the recovery of the service is provided by Microsoft built within their cloud. However, as we've talked about, their backup is limited in terms of what they offer. This is why Kyocera Protect is here. It provides a cloud-to-cloud backup to a secondary location. And what's important to many of our customers is that that is within guaranteed UK data sovereignty. If further backup hops are required, we can also provide a secondary backup cloud with a geodiverse data center. This provides a truly scalable and resilient backup platform, enabling unbound data retention of your Office 365 and G Suite. To give you an example of the breadth of Kyocera Protect, the solution can incorporate file structures within OneDrive, OneNote, Microsoft Exchange, including mails, emails, attachments, notes, contacts, and calendars. It can also include SharePoint sites, folders, document libraries, site pages, assets, and templates. And then, of course, Microsoft Teams, including conversations and documents shared on public channels. It's probably important to understand that right now with Microsoft's API, private channels between users is still not part of a backup strategy at the moment, but obviously we're working with Microsoft to understand how the development of this product, which is quickly developing, matures, and obviously Kyocera Protect, as soon as those hooks become available, we'll include those. So Kyocera Protect spans all of these services, most of which are typically overlooked in a typical backup strategy. So building layers of resiliency and continuity throughout all aspects of your systems and processes ensures you're mitigating yourself against the risk of damage due to loss of information. Kyocera Protect ensures that all of your data remains compliant to industry standards and best practice by providing an auditable and compliant archive of backups for your Office 365 and G Suite apps. We put our knowledge to work so that your data is backed up, restorable, and compliant, protecting your business and your customers. Kyocera can help optimize your software as a service cost by also managing your Microsoft and G Suite licenses. By actively monitoring license usage, we can help optimize the cost of those licenses and make sure you're only backing up data for users that need it. As Andrew said before, also making sure that backups stay in place when users change within business roles or leave the business, we can ensure that backup is maintained. This not only helps keep control over your license requirements and forecast, but also ensures longevity of those backups. An additional benefit of Kyocera Protect is you avoid data being automatically deleted when a license is inactive or deprovisioned. So sometimes, as we know, licenses can change within our businesses, even if users still exist, and we obviously still don't want that to impact our backup. With control of the right license and with the right usage, you can maximize your software as a service investment by not spending money on licenses or components that you don't need. It's important to remember, as we've talked about the product, that Kyocera Protect is a fully managed solution. The Kyocera team will monitor your backup tasks, and they can identify and rectify any failures of data anomalies, ensuring backups are always accurate and recoverable. The team provides continual monitoring and will proactively create incidents where necessary, raise issues and escalations both internally and to any of our third-party vendors to ensure the support of the service is maintained. All incidents and information can be provided to customers along with reporting of backup schedules. Our team are, of course, able to manage recovery on request with any backup, as well as manage scheduled testing and business continuity data recovery tests that you might want to perform. We believe this truly is a differentiator in this market, and something we're really proud to promote is our managed service. So, of course, as well as this managed service, Kyocera runs a robust deployment methodology for the Kyocera Protect solution. So, as you can see from the infographic, this starts with deployment and the correct preparation and discovery for the solution. As well as the breadth of data and services in scope for a backup, key within this discovery phase is identifying your business RPO and RTO objectives. So what do I mean by that? The RPO is the recovery point objective, and it's essentially the acceptable point in time that your business can roll back to. The RTO dictates the schedule of backups. Sorry, the RPO dictates the schedule of backups. The RTO is the recovery time objective and dictates how long it takes to restore a backup. So based on those two factors, essentially will dictate your recovery strategy in case of a disaster. So it's really important that in the evaluation phase, we look at that, and then we look to run a limited proof of concept for you, which includes an initial integration with your Office 365 or G Suite applications, and we create and restore a backup to test recovery. Once this is complete, the solution could be engaged into production with a live schedule created as per your requirements. Once onboarding is complete, the Kyocera Protect backup engine will create backups and manage these with your business retention rules, with data being stored securely all this time. Meanwhile, our UK-based managed service centre will provide operational management and support of the solution and be there 24 hours a day should you need assistance. As well as operational management, our service development team will continue to improve the offering. For instance, provide continual development of the platform should further backup integrations become available. As I mentioned, Microsoft Teams, for instance, is quite a young product, and Microsoft are making developments to that product all the time. And so as their backend improves, so will improvements be made to Kyocera Protect. Of course, the other thing to highlight here is the solution provides flexible offboarding should you wish to offboard the service. This really protects our reputation in the marketplace and makes it easy for customers to transition on and off the solution. Often, as the cloud market developed early on, cloud providers did sometimes make it difficult for companies to move away from cloud providers, which gave some a bad name. Obviously, we like to look after our customers at all points of our customer journey. So Kyocera Protect offers huge benefits for businesses using Office 365 and G Suite applications, especially where critical content may be stored in OneDrive, SharePoint, or Microsoft Teams. Our solutions team have an engagement model for customers wishing to onboard Kyocera Protect, which focuses on delivering business value. It follows a simple 5-step waterfall method from opening a business consultation through to implementation. Our managed services teams are there with you every step of the way. Data is gathered in the initial phases of our engagement, which can help customers form a business case and a return on investment statement where needed. So why choose Kyocera Protect? The solution and methodology provides easy onboarding and integrates seamlessly with your Office 365 or G Suite applications. The solution automatically takes daily backups, or as you'll see in the demonstration, maybe more than daily backups, or backups on demand that can be stored indefinitely, no matter the size of your Office 365 or G Suite tenant. Of course, any of these backups can be restored, and depending on your chosen retention, can be restored to any point in time. The solution is compliant with industry standards, industry security standards and compliance standards, And all of this is managed by our UK-based 24/7, 365 days a year service centre, giving you peace of mind that data in your productivity suite is backed up and secure. All combined, this is a cost-effective solution that mitigates against financial or reputational loss, considering that productivity applications are the target of hackers and malicious actors on the internet. As Andrew alluded to, this is a solution that is one part of our what we like to call our comprehensive services journey. So from the foundations laid in 1948, where Kyocera Document Solutions started to provide printing machines, through to the current day, we have been addressing the needs of the modern business. Of course, we've come a long way over the years. So in 2020, not only can you use Kyocera devices to print securely anywhere using cloud-hosted managed print solutions, but Kyocera can also help you connect your teams through the use of unified communications technology, the software and infrastructure that connects business world, through to the connectivity to businesses, business process transformation. Kyocera products drive the information that flows between people and manages the business transactions. Kyocera also manages infrastructure and software for our customers. Our connected ecosystem approach is supported by a UK service management organisation, delivering services and support to our customers. Kyocera helps our customers put their knowledge to work. So finally from me, before I move on over to Ben, are a few key takeaways. Kyocera Protect is designed as a backup solution for Office 365 and G Suite to protect every Office user. Data loss may happen more than you think. Internal users can often accidentally delete content, and typically the data we all store within our productivity applications is just as important as the operation of our business than some of the traditional transactional data in our ERP systems. In these data structures that have become the target, it is these data structures that have been the target of malware attacks in the past few years. File structures, file stores are seen as an easier target to attackers than often well protected and well backed up ERP infrastructure. With Kyocera's managed service approach, onboarding couldn't be easier. Our teams are here to help you every step of the way. So maintain compliance and optimize your investment in cloud software by using a comprehensive backup management service. Kyocera Protect ensures your critical productivity content stored in Office 365 and G Suite has a robust backup strategy so you can put your knowledge to work. So I'd like to move over to Ben, who will run you through a live demonstration of the Kyocera Protect solution. Ben, if you're able to take the screen, that would be great.
That's great, thank you. So, hello everyone, my name's Ben. I am a senior solutions engineer here. I'm hoping that someone can just confirm that everyone can see my screen at this minute in time.
We can, Ben, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Very simply, today I'm just going to take you through a demonstration of the product, how it kind of how it works and how you can actually use it, or how it will be used in anger. To be able to show this today, I am currently showing my Windows server that I have set up on my Windows desktop, which has got OneDrive syncing my data down from onto my local machine. So it's the first place that we're actually going to start is we're going to pretend we are an end user here. And very simply, we're just going to go ahead and open up our purchasing and billing document. Now we can see that we've got a load of data here. I'm aware I need to probably, number one, update my Windows Office. My Microsoft Office 2010 is obviously very old now. And I should really try and get some proper licensing for it. But we can then continue through our normal work that we would be doing throughout the day. Now, the slight problem here is that what we're unaware of is that ransomware is now currently flooding through our entire system. It is encrypting all of our, I like to say, non-essential files. And when we're talking about non-essential files, we do mean, sadly, your PDFs, the Word documents, the lovely little pictures you may have. All of those are currently being encrypted. And I can actually check that if I minimize down this. I can see that there is that terrifying red box that we are obviously all so used to seeing. Now we're just going to move up there so it's out of the way a bit, and we'll move this over here. Now, the one thing you may have noticed as well is I have this folder open up here with my OneDrive that's syncing down at this minute in time, and we can see already that a lot of the files have now been encrypted. When ransomware does run through a system, the first thing it will do is that it will actually change a lot of the file extensions over to a .ecc. Now, this can vary depending on what type of ransomware it is. Obviously, there are literally thousands of strains of ransomware out there at this moment in time. So it obviously does change depending on what version you've got. Now we can see that it's gone through, it's changed those files to an ECC. We can see some more information regarding this big red box that's popped up. I'm sure this is something that a lot of people on the call today have seen before. So I know that my private key will be destroyed within, that's 3 days. That's in American formatting. So within 3 days, if I do not pay them using Bitcoin, they will go ahead and delete my decryption key. And obviously, if they delete my decryption key, there is no way for me to be able to get this data back. I am then going to be truly stuck. Now, a couple of other things. This has actually been encrypted with an RSA 2048-bit key. From some research I was doing online, this will take, on average, using an i3 4 gig of RAM, average PC from nowadays, about 6.4 quadrillion years to decrypt every single password combination, which is it's pretty insane. I'm willing to admit I'm not the most lucky of guys, and I'm pretty confident I probably wouldn't get it in the first couple of quadrillion. So I guess what we're really kind of saying here is that my data is truly gone. So then obviously it comes down to, well, I can pay them to get it back. So obviously Bitcoin has got easier to get hold of over the last couple of years. Obviously the surges in Bitcoin cost and the drops in Bitcoin costs as of last year when it was kind of fluctuating in the market. You can download apps on your phone and then link up your card, and you can literally just purchase it straight there. And then it is very, very simple to get hold of. But you do need to send this Bitcoin using something called a Tor browser. Now, the Tor browser stands for the Onion router. It's essentially a kind of safe and secure kind of, people often call it the dark web or the deep internet. And that's essentially what it is. It's its own separate kind of section of the web. It was actually created, I think, in the early 80s or 90s by the US Navy to have kind of secure encryption, secure communication, and then was actually made public so that people can utilize it. You see a lot of cyber criminals using it, but then you also see it used for a lot of good. So whistleblowers, for example. So for those of you who are aware of kind of US politics, Edward Snowden actually used a Tor browser to be able to kind of pass that information out. So it's used for a multitude of different things, legal and often illegal. Now, the main reason that they want to use it is because it is fully encrypted. It is very, very hard to be able to find out who money or even who is logged into the Tor browser, because it actually encrypts your data at every single bounce, and it bounces your data from node to node. So it's really, really strong and hard to be able to find out what has been going on there. Now, they use this, and a lot of people won't have used the Tor browser before. So what they've tried to do is actually make it a hell of a lot easier for people as well. They've actually changed my background, as you can see. They've given me instructions on how to download the Tor browser, what web page I need to go onto, and then also what web pages I can then go onto once I'm in the Tor browser to be able to pay them using this Bitcoin to get my data back. Now, I was reading some statistics a while back, and I believe on average it's that on average it's 21% of people who pay will not get all of their data back. It's almost like being held hostage and being returned, but without your finger. It's you kind of expect that if you're paying, you're going to get that service, you're going to get all of your data back. So we can pretty much quite clearly here see that we are stuck. Now, obviously ransomware, the first thing that people think about when they see ransomware is, oh, well, that's fine. It just encrypts the local data. That's fine. It's just a local machine. All my data's in the cloud, right? Well, one of the great things, and this is actually one of the really, really good things with OneDrive, obviously, is it does sync your data down to your local machine. And you can do that with a multitude of different O365 products at this minute in time. Now, the absolute downside to that, though, is that whenever you overwrite anything on that folder that is synced down, it then overwrites up in the cloud. And we can actually see that my OneDrive client, right down on the bottom right-hand corner, has gone ahead and uploaded all of these encrypted files and sent them straight up into the Microsoft cloud. So I know here that my data is encrypted in the cloud as well. And obviously this is going to be pushing me to want to go and pay that the Bitcoin that they are requesting to be able to get my data back. Now, luckily though, we have got a backup solution in use at this moment in time. We are using the Kyocera Protect product. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just jump straight over into Kyocera Protect. From here, we can see this is our kind of home screen. It gives us a nice overview, but we're actually going to jump straight into our recovery piece and then OneDrive. From linking at OneDrive, we actually have our list of users here. So you'll see I've got 3 users listed down here, and we're going to be focusing on our Mark Martini user today. From looking at Mark Martini's account, I can see a whole host of information. The kind of key thing that we do like to talk about here is that built into the solution, we are taking 3 backups a day. It's roughly morning, noon, and night, every 6 to 8 hours or so. Now, this is obviously preset by us. We have a scheduler that runs this for you, so there will be no kind of conflict in backups, and it's all configured by us, which is nice and handy. But you can go back through those individual backups as well, should you want to. So we've got 3 backups a day, morning, noon, night, every 6 to 8 hours. And while we're here as well, it's probably worth talking about the retention period. Now, it was actually mentioned earlier, but the retention in kind of how long we store this data for is up to infinite. So we will just keep storing this data and making sure that you guys are truly protected, that you can get all of your data back in the event of a disaster. So we've chosen our user and we've gone through, we've chosen our backup. We're looking currently at our most recent backup that has been taken. 3 backups a day, it's morning and night roughly. And from now, what we can do is we can go ahead and we can actually choose the individual files that we may want to go ahead and recover. So we know that, for example, if you wanted to be able to access, let's just say that file, we've got another document there, and then finally we'll just restore this Excel sheet as well. Now, from there, we're going to click on the Restore button, and there's actually a couple of options here. We could go ahead and restore the whole snapshot, so everything inside of OneDrive. Obviously, Mark is actually running into a very important meeting right now, and he just wants a couple of his files to be able to get through that meeting. He doesn't need everything. But in the event of a ransomware encryption like this, we would advise obviously doing a full snapshot restore, getting you all of your data back as quickly as possible. So again, you've got the choice of a snapshot restore or just the selected items. By default, we do want to restore permissions automatically. That's something we want to do by default. Obviously, there's multiple permissions that you may have set for people to be able to access things, etc. So we want to be able to have that straight back as well. And then finally, we can restore back to multiple users. So for example, if Mark is no longer at the business, I can actually restore this straight back into Mark's boss's account or Mark's replacement's account, should I want to. So we can actually restore this data back into any other account that is being backed up with this solution as well. Obviously, as Mark is here and as we said a moment ago, he wants to go to that very important meeting, we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on the Restore button. From clicking on Restore, we can see pretty clearly that the restore has been successfully started. It was just on the top right. And then from there, there's the Restores button in the kind of middle left. It did have a little spinning logo next to it. And essentially, when we click on that Restores button, what we're able to see here is a list of our restores that we have currently been running through. So I can see Mark Martini to Mark Martini. It was a snapshot selection of 4 out of 4 items at just under about 1.5 meg, and it took about 4 seconds to be able to complete. So incredibly quick, really nice and simple. Now jumping up into our OneDrive from here, we can go ahead. We're just going to quickly refresh the page. And what they're going to see is a brand new folder. I will confirm I am currently logged in as Mark Martini, as we can see. We have a brand new folder called Backup Fire Restore of the date and time. And then from that folder, we can jump straight in. We've got a OneDrive folder there, and we've then got each of our individual documents that we were just working on. Straight away, we can just click on that individual document, and it will start opening up for us. And we've got all the information that Mark would need, and he can continue his very important meeting as he was going through. So in a matter of seconds, minutes, I think it's been about 10 to 12 minutes so far, we have managed to go ahead and actually infect a machine with ransomware, show that it has encrypted everything, that OneDrive did a great job. It sunk all that data up into the cloud. However, obviously that is a downside here. and we were then able to restore the data straight back into Mark's OneDrive account to be able to get him back up and running as quickly as possible. Now, a final note that I do like to just kind of cover here, under the recovery piece, if we jump straight back into my OneDrive account and into my user, there is also a couple of other options, such as the export button. If you were to click on export, we can export your OneDrive and SharePoint data as a .zip. We can export your Exchange data out as well, and then we can also export Teams public channels and the content that's shared in those. And finally, over to the right of there, we have got the Backup Now button. Backup Now really allows you to be able to force extra backups of the account should you need it. Maybe someone's going to be leaving the business and you want to take one final snapshot of their account before they do leave. We can definitely go ahead and we can do that, and it will not eat into those free backups a day that are taken. So in a nutshell, nice, quick, easy restores. Thank you for joining us today. And that's pretty much the demonstration. Thanks.
Thanks, Ben. Lovely, impactful demonstration there. So I think it's worth saying at this point in the presentation, we're going to open up the session for questions. If we, the team will be here to work to answer the questions behind the scenes, as well as take any questions afterwards. I've got a couple of questions that have come in previously, so if I can cover those, maybe Ben, you can help answer these as well. So a nice short, simple question to start off with, which is, should Outlook 365 be backed up?
100%, I would say. Ben here, yeah, I would say 100%. It's one of those kind of essential things. You need to make sure that you are definitely protected. There was an excellent kind of white hat hacker called Kevin Mitnick who actually created something called Ransom Cloud. It's a proof of concept of essentially ransomware of what we have shown here today. And very simply, it asks for permissions in an email. And once you have clicked yes to those permissions, because it looks like a Microsoft email, it's able to scramble all of your Exchange data, your Outlook data. And then obviously you've kind of lost everything again. So yeah, by all means, it really does need to be protected.
Yeah. Ben, just a quick question on that particular point, because the demo today showed OneDrive in particular, and I know that is somewhat easier to show for a demo. But if someone wanted to restore data into an Outlook mailbox, they could. Can they do that on a granular basis from an individual email, from an individual calendar item, directly back into the mailbox?
Yeah, of course. Great question. Yeah, again, we're stuck with time as to how long we can spend on things, but yeah, you're very right. We can go ahead and we can actually restore individual items. So mail, individual mail items, we can go ahead and restore those. You can restore individual calendar events as well on top of that. And again, it just creates that nice folder and then chucks it into that folder, so it's easy for you to find. That's kind of the one reason. That's one of the kind of key things that I like about this solution compared to some other solutions I've seen. What we will do is we create that brand new folder and throw the data into there rather than just putting it straight back where it was beforehand, because often you won't have actually deleted any data. You may have just lost it and you don't know where it is. Restoring it back to where it was from really doesn't help you.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Ben. I think of course I agree with your answer on that. I think just assuming that if you're using one of Microsoft's modern 365 platform applications like Outlook in the cloud, assuming that it's got a backup and that backup strategy complies with your own business's retention and recovery policies and any compliance standards that you have to adhere to. I think that is obviously an assumption there that they have that backup strategy with you in mind. And obviously with Kyocera Protect, it's about taking a little bit of control back and actually making sure that the backup strategy is correct and that you can recover that. Obviously, Microsoft don't allow often you to do things like roll back and actively test their own recovery. So it's really important that you have that control in your own hands.
A a question that we often get asked, and Ben, perhaps you can help us again with an answer for this. So what we've seen during the pandemic is lots of companies and end users creating teams, virtual teams within the Microsoft Teams package, sharing files, collaborating on these files, obviously all in remote locations. So a fantastic tool set to really enable that remote working. But quite often from an IT central perspective, you kind of lose where that data is, and users automatically feel that's protected. So could you just give us an overview of how Kyocera Protect protects that data as well?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, as I said earlier, we will protect any public channel that is currently available in Teams. I guess the easiest way really to answer that question is there is an auto add button. From having auto add turned on, we will automatically scan once every 24 hours and pick up any new Teams kind of sites, channels, etc. Or groups that have been set up, and we will protect those automatically. And you're very right. We have seen a surge in kind of Teams being used. SharePoint as well has been a huge surge in SharePoint. Obviously, people aren't using on-premise file servers as much anymore. SharePoint is kind of gradually taking over that part of the market, and it's exactly the same with SharePoint. Further on from there, we're able to do a kind of auto add and back up as many SharePoint sites as you would like there as well.
Thanks, Ben. And I think certainly a point from the actual how this all comes together, John. So I know you're heavily involved in our operations, but quite often we see with our customers when they come to use this data or come to recover this data, on other products or other solutions, etc. They work out, oh, can I have that email? Can I have that file? Only to find that either the backup's not worked correctly or that data isn't selected. So I know that we've worked extensively with our service back office to pin together our automation platforms, our service processes on our RTL service desk to knit all of that together into a managed solution. So I didn't know whether you could just touch on that, John.
Yeah, that's right, Andrew. And actually, that leads up. There's another question that's come in that alludes to this, which is about the differentiation of this product to other potential products on the market. So I think you just hit it right there, Andrew. We've put a lot of effort into our managed service teams to really take the pain away from our customers. A barrier of entry to technology platforms is often the onboarding of that product into the IT infrastructure or into the suite of applications. It's another application for an IT team to have to manage, to have to look after, to upskill, maintain knowledge of and support within your own IT infrastructure. So really that's the reason behind our managed service offering with this product, is to really take that pain away from our customers. And help our customers really utilize the products to its full capability without them having to upskill their own IT teams and their own IT operations to support this. So we've, as you said, Andrew, we've taken a lot of effort to make sure that this is fully integrated into our UK service operation. With all aspects of this product kind of incorporated into that operation, so that once a customer is onboarded, they really have the peace of mind that we have their backs, that all of this is fully supported for them. And of course, our team are available, all hours of the day and night to support our customers if ever anything were to go wrong, or indeed if ever they want to run a backup and test plan as part of a DR scenario. One of the things that we've been challenged about in the last couple of weeks by some of our customers is to say, well, can we, obviously COVID-19 and the lockdown process that's kind of taken place across the globe has kind of made businesses question the last time they did a disaster recovery scenario plan and actually tested out their systems and processes. So of course, with this, we are there to support our customers as customers want to test, and I would really encourage customers to test things like backup strategy and backup plans to make sure that they have everything they need if ever they were either attacked or if ever they lost data.
Okay, thanks, John. So really it's taking that burden away to make sure that in that time of need that that data is there, and that data has been checked and tested, and all of the relevant data is included as well. So that 24/7 support around the clock. Okay, thanks, John.
Great stuff. I'm not seeing any other questions at the moment that have been posted. I'll hang on a little bit longer, but really I'd just like to, if there are no other questions, and we'll obviously monitor the channel, and if any come in after we've closed this session, we'll of course reply. But really, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's listened to this webinar today. Really appreciate your time. And of course, our teams are here if you want to talk more about Kyocera Protect or any of other solution offerings. We're here to help you out.